Hi everyone, Christina here. Welcome to the very first day of the holiday card series for this year. This actually is my 10th holiday card series. I had to count that on my fingers earlier today, but sure enough, this is the 10th. So I started my very first one in 2009, and there have been 10 since. So I'm so excited you guys are joining me. I know this is one of your most favorite times of year, and it's my favorite as well. So I can't wait to just jump right into it. So today I'm going to be making a card using some products from Lawn Fawn from their holiday release earlier this year, and I hope you enjoy. I'm going to tell you guys a not so secret, which is I love hot cocoa. I love it. So I'm going to be using this stamp set from Lawn Fawn called Thanks a Latte. There's actually a few different options you have with the stamp set. You can make it a latte. There's different things you can put in the mugs, or there's a hot cocoa option. And since I love hot cocoa, I'm going to be doing the one that has the line for the hot cocoa with the marshmallows. So now I'm stamping the marshmallow option on it. And I've stamped all of these images in Simon Says Stamp Intense Black ink because I'm doing some Copic coloring. And as usual for most all of my videos when I'm doing Copic coloring, I am using a Copic friendly paper that works really well with these markers, which is Neenah Solar White. This is actually Neenah Classic Crest Solar White, and it works really, really well with the Copic markers. So I've picked out some greens and reds to use on this card today. I'm using YG23, YG17, and then that darker green, which is now off screen. I totally missed it. You guys are going to have to rewind if you want to know specifically. But the reds, these are some reds I use all the time. They're my most favorite reds for holiday cards. And I think my love of Copic coloring really started with doing holiday cards. I have one particular card in particular I'm thinking of that was years ago. I think it was 2014 with this girl from the Greeting Farm. Oh, I loved that card. And I loved figuring out how to color her hair a platinum blonde. I thought it was so fun. So I'll link it up in the top corner if you want to check that card out. It's one of my most favorite ones over the years of the holiday card series. So I used the coordinating dies for the stamp set and cut those out. And now I'm using some glitter paper from Lawn Fawn. This is their sparkle cardstock in holiday, and you get 5 different colors of glitter cardstock. The glitter doesn't flake off at all. It's really great. So you can die cut it. You can, do a bunch of things with it. It's not going to put glitter everywhere, which is really nice. So I've cut out some little 1/4 inch strips, and now I have a piece of really thin paper. This is actually some grid paper that I've just turned over, and I drew a line on it so that I could get those strips of glitter paper lined up just right. And then I'm using this die set from Lawn Fawn. I'm going to have the circle kind of off to one side. I'm planning to create a 5x7 card. It's a little bit larger than usual. And so this paper is cut to just slightly larger than 5x7 so that I can trim everything down once I have everything adhered. So I'm putting a bunch of adhesive all over this piece of really thin white paper. And in hindsight, I should have put even more adhesive or used a full adhesive sheet in order to do this, because once I get die cutting, there were some areas that weren't adhered, and you'll see what I mean in a minute here. So I used that line that I drew with a ruler as a guide to place all the strips of glitter paper on. And then I took some white cardstock. This is some of that same white cardstock, which is a Neenah Classic Crest Solar White. And I put that above and below. This is going to make it so that the glitter paper is flush with the white cardstock, so it's all one smooth surface. If you don't want to do this, you of course could just adhere the glitter paper on top of white paper, and that would work too. I trimmed down this piece to be just slightly smaller than 5x7 so that when I adhere it to my card, I'm going to have a little bit of a border around the edge. So I'm going to do the die cutting now with that circular piece, the die cut. So I'm going to place it on top of the glitter border line, and then I'll use a little bit of micro pour tape just to keep that in place while I run it through my die cutting machine. And this die is really fun because it cuts out the interior of that scallop circle and then puts a stitch line around the outside edge. I thought it looked really, really cool. So I'm going to prep my card base now. I'm using some red cardstock. I think this cardstock is from Gina K. I'm not entirely sure. It was like a loose leaf of paper like floating around my craft room, and I kind of like walked around with my glitter striped project trying to find a good red. And this is the red cardstock that fit. I think it's from Gina K, so I'll link that down below in the supply section, where as usual all my supplies will be linked. So I put a bunch of foam adhesive on the back of that die cut piece and then adhered it to my card base. And then I'm going to prep my greeting. I wanted the greeting to be like kind of floating above that stripe of glitter paper. So I'm using some vellum, and I've prepped that with an anti-static powder tool, and then I'm stamping the Warm Wishes greeting from the stamp set in Versamark ink. Because this is vellum, it needs to have a solid color on top, so you could use black or white or any other really solid color so that you can see it. I'm going to be using white today. I thought black would be a little too much color on top of the stripes. I thought the white would really stand out. So I'm using some white embossing powder from Brutus Monroe. This is the Alabaster color. So I'm hitting that with my heat tool until it's smooth and melted, and then I use my paper trimmer just to trim that out so that it's a nice narrow strip. I took some scissors and kind of chopped off that one end at an angle just to give it a little bit of interest. And then I'm going to kind of arrange the mug and candy cane and greeting. I'm going to start by putting the candy cane on the front of that mug because it's going to be on top. And then I've put some adhesive on the front of that Warm Wishes greeting strip, and then I'm going to press it to the back of the mug. And I did it in this order because I wanted to make sure that the placement of the Warm Wishes greeting was just right. It needed to be a little bit away from the mug so that the candy cane could be right there. I put some foam adhesive on the back of the mug, and then I'm going to place it into the center of my die cut circle. I'm using some tweezers for this so that I can get the placement just right. The only thing left to do is to pair this up with a 5x7 envelope and stick this in the mail. Of course, I'm not going to be mailing this for a little while. I don't want to mail my holiday cards now. That'd be way too early. It's the beginning of October. But I'm going to stash this away until about end of November, and then I'll start mailing all of my holiday cards out to family and friends. Thanks so much for watching today's video. I have 2 more holiday cards for you guys to check out. I've got I guess it would be 2017 and 2016 that you can see on screen. But if you look down in the video description below, I'm going to have day 1 for every single holiday card series, so you can check them all out. It's kind of crazy that there's so many. Thanks so much for watching today, and I will see you guys on Monday for day 2.